few thoughts as I've been thinking and studying about soloing and improvising, following chord changes a bit more. There seem to be kind of two types of chord progressions, and I think that they need to be approached differently, especially depending on your skill level. If you're at a um, lower level of skill with following the chords and then your theory, then I think when you have what's termed busy chord changes, your better strategy is to stick with the notes and the keys of the song that you're playing in. When the chord changes really quickly, especially if you don't even have a full measure for each chord, you don't have time to develop a melody with that chord before it's time to move on. So I think you're better off to just take notes out of the key and build a melody from that. The other is if you do have a slower chord progression and one that's a little more time spent on each chord, to think vocally. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it helps you structure your guitar solos better. So some ideas of this. So how would you go about singing a chorus, right? And I'm thinking that oftentimes you don't necessarily start on the root of the chord that the singer's singing over, right? So let's say if we're in C here, we've got the root, the one, and we've got the three and the five. To me, the notes that you may sing over something like that. So say you had a chorus that started out, stand up and do something, right? And that could be kind of your repetitive theme in that chorus. I would think you might start it off high, stand, and I know I can't sing and my pitch is off, but the idea is that, so you hit that, open it up at the high off of the five, and then drop it back to the three, but not necessarily go back to the root yet. So something, and kind of play around above the root a bit. I think that when you come back to the root, it's really more as a way to resolve and to say, hey, this phrase is over. Kind of like when you're speaking even, right? So as your vocal inflection, it sends a message. So when you ask a question, you'll start out, I think, higher pitch in what you're asking. When you're ready to hand the conversation back over to the other person, I think you kind of come back and maybe rest, maybe where that root would be. So that's kind of some of the concepts I'm thinking about. And I'm going to just solo over one of these slower chord progressions where you do have the time to focus on each chord and develop it a little bit. And so we will play through one of those now. This is the key of C, so we've got 2 bars of C, 2 of A minor, 2 of D minor, and 2 of G. And I'm gonna I'm gonna try to jump around less as well. So I'm gonna try to spend more time into like here with our C major pentatonic. So we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got the A here. The A minor. We got our D minor here right next door. Back up to G. And back into C. All right. Good practice. I got lost a few times at the beginning there, and we're hitting some of the notes out of the wrong chord. And I also just hit some wrong notes a few times. But good practice session, as always.